And people are like, oh my God, you're like J-Lo. And I'm like, oh my God, that is so fake.
And they're like, oh my God, you're like Cake Boss. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not. But, you think you can take a 4-hour class and suddenly become a teacher and be teaching all over the country. No, that is not how it works. And yeah, I'm talking to you.
Today, we're talking about being a hobbyist or actually making money.
And that is really important topics because as a creative, you need to know when to stop being just a creative and become an entrepreneur or a business owner.
So we'll start off by saying, well, Jay and I both started out as
hobbyists.
hobbyists. I mean, this was for fun.
So how did you start?
By accident.
I mean, I did, when I first started decorating cakes, I remember the day and everything. So I did my daughter's first birthday cake, and really out of necessity because we were poor. Honestly, we had a kid, we just bought a house, all this stuff.
He's white trash.
And I am white trash at the core. I've come a long way though. But yeah, I think also organically, like as far as cakes go, I can speak about that. I think you organically it becomes something you can do from home. You can kind of do it for friends and family, and it's a way to get your feet wet to see if you're good at it or things like that. So I think that's a blessing, but it's also
a curse.
It is a curse because nobody really knows how to take that creative hat off and put the business hat on.
And it ain't fun.
It is not fun, and it's really adulting. Like.
What does that mean?
It means
adulting?
It sucks to be an adult sometimes.
Oh, like responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And there's a lot of responsibility of becoming a business owner.
Yes.
And
relying on the money.
And that is the key. That's the key phrase right there is when you start relying on the income that you're generating from your creative outlet or your creative, whatever it is. It doesn't matter if you're making jewelry. It doesn't matter if you're planning events. It doesn't matter if you are consulting or making cakes or whatever. When it becomes, when you start recognizing that you're having to keep up with orders because you're taking so many orders, and then you realize that you are also relying on the revenue that you're creating in what you are doing as a hobby, to maybe give your kids lunch money or to even maybe pay the electric bill or a utility bill or car insurance, whatever. When it starts to become that way, or you are having to buy in bulk, in my situation, that's when you need to stop and go, hey, this is becoming a little bit more than what I bargained for, and I need to stop being stupid many times. And I can say that because I've consulted with...
We both have been stupid.
Listen, I have, oh my God, yes. So... But when you're forced into it like I was when I lost my full-time corporate position, I didn't know what else to do. So I fell back on my hobby. And honestly, it was an amazing blessing, honestly. But I left my mark and I'm ready to do something else, hence is why we're here. And
then you got this thing called QuickBooks.
Okay.
Which we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. But I want to know really quick.
So... my whole background's in healthcare.
Yeah, same here. Weirdly enough.
Yep. And didn't you work at the bariatric center?
I did. I worked for a metabolic surgery center.
Yeah, and I taught water aerobics for the metabolic center to help patients lose a certain amount of weight before they could even have surgery. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. So that was my career, my real job. And then people at my parents' church started to ask me, can you plan and decorate? And I just did it for fun. And then my sister would help. And my uncle had a venue on the Gulf Coast for 35 years. So I knew a little bit, but not anything about running a business. And so this went on for 9 flipping years.
Oh my gosh.
Because I actually had 3 jobs. I taught gymnastics and aerobics. And I mean, I've just, you do too much. You're an entrepreneur, but I didn't know it yet.
No, and
I didn't know it yet.
It's very easy not to recognize when you become an entrepreneur if it happens that organically. So the story here for what we're talking about tonight and what you should take away from this episode is that it's really hard to recognize as a creative, and that's really what we are. We're creatives in different odd ways. With mine, it's more direct, but with Angela's, you get more into the creative part after the logistics part, which is the fun part of what she gets to do, and really not the logistics sometimes is the hardest part. But it's really important to understand when it's no longer a hobby, knowing when to take that creative hat off and that hobbyist hat off and put on your business hat or your entrepreneurial hat, right?
So when people start saying like, what's your website and it's like, well, crap, I don't have one. But nowadays, like Facebook didn't exist when we started.
It didn't. I'm sorry to say.
And so there was this thing called Flash. And we had beautiful websites.
Oh, yeah.
Where the pictures ran. This is pre-iPhone, okay?
It's pre-everything.
And pre a lot.
Seriously, Ange, the internet literally, like when I did my first business plan, the internet was there.
I didn't have internet.
But you didn't really know what to, no, when I first started, there was no such thing. Truly, like right now, you have the most incredible resources, not only from technology, but like from internet. Like when you get ready to do a business plan, you've got
templates
to use and marketing strategies.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's no excuse. I mean, let's just be completely honest.
I had to go to the library.
I did too. Well, you know what I did?
I don't like to read.
I went to my Chamber of Commerce.
I don't like the library.
And I don't either. But I went to the Chamber of Commerce and I got they had a service that was free that I could sit down and talk to a business type entrepreneurial person. And it was a free service.
I did Score.
Score is great. It's still in existence and it's a great tool. But learning how to develop the foundation of your business is probably one of the most important things. And look, she and I, we met at a luncheon, because I don't think we've told anybody that. We went to a networking luncheon.
The perfect wedding guy.
It was. I don't even know if they still exist or not. But
I don't know.
But we sat down at lunch at a big table together, and her mom was with her, and she and I sat right next to each other, and we introduced ourselves. And seriously, we've been best friends from that day forward. We literally were doing tiny. I had no idea what I was doing.
I kind of had an idea.
But you've been doing it a little bit longer.
But not on the business side.
No. Oh, well. So I had QuickBooks for, oh my gosh. Because that's what I was told to do. I need to figure out a way to manage my business with financial software in a way that I can track expenses and track cost of goods and track revenue, which is the most important, and income and learn how to do a profit and loss statement and a balance sheet. You've got to do this. I don't care who you are. I don't care what business. If you've got a tax ID, you need to have some sort of financial software to track your revenue and your expenses, because that's the only way you're going to know if you're making money.
And if you suck at it, find a friend to help you set it up.
That's my point.
Which is what I did.
Which is really ironic because so this is how I knew she needed to do this. This is 2 or 3 years into a relationship now at this point, where we both were starting to grow and so I had QuickBooks from the very beginning. I went and purchased the software. It literally intimidated the hell out of me, and it sat on my computer for like a year before I actually did it.
Me too.
Then I actually started using it, and I forced myself to learn how to use it.
It ain't fun.
And then I said to her, because I was watching her work 24/7 and giving her clients, and it's not that we're not giving our clients every single minute that they deserve, but the problem is she was working basically on a salaried type basis. And I said, divide out your hours, the number of hours you work, by the amount you're getting paid, and let's just look at what that number is. And when we did, that was an aha moment for her.
I think I made a penny an hour.
I really do. I think that's what it was. And I was like, oh, Ange, we are working way too hard. We got to work smarter, not harder. And at the time, that was a challenge because we did not have all those resources.
I think you were like filming a show, and you and some of your friends came over to my house.
Oh, that's right. And I sat down and I said, we're going to put your company on QuickBooks.
In my office.
I sat in her office. I set her company up. And it was it was really difficult because of the type of service that she is.
I was dumb.
It's way easier now. And there's way more tools now, even on your phone, that you can track the type
Hours Keeper.
Hours Keeper.
It's a free app if you're not big enough yet.
Wait, this isn't I Do.
Oh, yes.
Yes, Hours Keeper is an app. We're always going to give you tips like throughout all of these shows.
Gold nuggets.
gold nuggets, and I think that's an I do moment. Like that's.
But we were having this conversation about QuickBooks, and when we get passionate, we raise our voices because we're just loud like that. And we open the doors, and his friends were like, we thought
y'all were
like, why
fighting.
are you arguing and fighting?
We're
Like,
not.
We thought y'all were like gonna kill each other.
I know.
Like,
So
and
it's,
we just walk out like everything's fine, which it was fine.
It was totally fine, but everybody thinks you should hear us sometimes. Honest to God, like everybody thinks that we are really at it. Like I'm gonna like punch you in the throat or something like that. And seriously, I don't even take. This is how you know you've got a good friend and a good sister. Okay,
They tell you the truth.
It's when they can tell you the truth, and you know that it's your best interest at heart, no matter what, and they're telling you because you need to hear it. And out of mad respect for her, through many, 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 many difficult conversations and jobs and experiences that you and I have had over the past 15 years, the mutual respect has just grown. And I hope that you can find somebody in your life to have that much mentorship.
You have to.
Because
you have to, or you will go crazy.
Well, and the thing is, we would have our conversations because we were literally working 20 hours a day at 3 a.m. And
that ain't healthy, by the way.
It is not. But we literally, that's when we
grew.
We grew, and but that's when we would have the most thoughtful, meaningful conversations. And
everybody else was sleeping,
crying,
and
happy. So, I mean, we would celebrate successes. We would cry. We would, because there was failures. There was horrible mistakes where we were like, what did I do wrong? Like, can you give me perspective on this? Would you read this email and tell me or help me how to respond?
Like, I don't know what to do.
And we don't know what to do. And we're fortunate to have each other.
So one of the second things I was going to say, another way you can know if, not only from the money side, but if people are contacting you and they're like, I want to intern, or I want to learn what you're doing. And I'm like, why do people want to know what I'm doing? Like, I'm confused.
You know why?
Well, everybody thinks like being a wedding planner is just like, they watch TV and they get the wrong impression.
Well, it's the same thing with cakes. People think
absolutely.
you can make this freaking amazing down cake in 6 hours. And I'm like,
no.
That's not really how it works.
So, but I do recommend that once you are trying to set up a process, it's good to bring interns in.
Yeah.
I used to do a couple at a time. Now I do one at a time. It takes time to teach and focus and answer questions. We have a really great process down now. I would say confidentiality in our line of work is probably the biggest thing. They have to sign confidentiality agreements.
Because, I'll use for my example of that. That's a great topic because it's really important, especially when everything that you're producing from scratch is proprietary. Everything that you're producing is a part of your brand and your corporation and your longevity, because you don't know where you're going to take it. All right? And so what I had when somebody comes and works for me, it is not their cake. It is not their art or their cake to post on Instagram. It's not their art or their cake to post on Facebook. It is my name, my work. It's proprietary. If you want to post cake on Instagram, go make your own damn cakes. If you work for me, those are my cakes with my name. And that's important because as nice as I try to be to my staff, they will take advantage of it. And I don't care. They can go make their own cakes and post it all they want. But if you're working on my time and I'm paying you, it's my work. And if you want to take all the risk and you want to own your own company,
we'll cheer you on.
I'll give you the foundation you need to go and break your back, because that's exactly what you're going to do. But not on my time. I can't do it.
So the next thing is that I am really trying to specialize in right now is 99% of the people who do it for fun and then turn it into a business, they typically invest in themselves and they go to conferences and classes and they really do try, but then they have this burning passion to make people happy.
Ugh.
And like,
if I had wine right now, I'd drink to that.
having passion and being profitable is two different things.
It's a good driver, but should not be your main driver. right?
Right. But if you lose the passion, you might as well move on.
Which is what I've done with cake. I'm moving on.
But you're an awesome consultant.
No,
and you help other businesses because you've moved to the next level. Kind of like, I'm not going to plan 100 weddings a year anymore.
No.
I'll pick and choose, and I have a great team, but I want to move on. I want to help other people. The biggest thing in our industry lacking is education.
It's awful.
And these people don't know what they don't know, and it's a real problem.
And in the cake industry, they think they can go and take a class with a very well-known cake artist and then open a bakery.
No.
And or better yet, this is what I love.
Been there, done that.
They want to go teach. And I'm like, I think
Yeah.
you might need to go take a few more classes, maybe own a business with a bakery, decorating cakes for at least, I don't know, a year or two, before you think you can get in front of a class and teach. And yeah, I'm talking to all you people that I meet at these cake shows that think that you can go and take a 1-hour class in piping and you're suddenly an expert. Do you know how many years I spent piping and how many hours you... Stop it, okay? You're bastardizing our entire industry.
Yeah.
Just stop.
In fact, the lady who owns Wedding Market News, I
love her.
Yep, we do a lot of education with her, and she actually asked me recently, like, in my opinion, my professional opinion, experience, who should be an educator and a teacher? And my favorite is when these interns come and intern with me and they're like, well, my teacher at college has never done an event in their life. And like, it's just so different.
Well,
and it's not cool. But anyway.
Well, it's not real life.
It's not real life. You cannot learn what we do from a effing book or reading on the internet.
Well, the best thing is when I get interns or when I get students, like I'm speaking somewhere and I have culinary students in the audience and they'll say, what is the best advice you can give us if we want to own our own bakery or own our own cake shop? And I said, you know what the best advice I can give you? It's okay to get your culinary degree, but I would recommend going and getting a business degree so that you know how to run all that creativity. Now, if you are okay with standing in a basement of a hotel and making 7,000 desserts of exactly the same thing every day, day in and day out, great, you're good. You get that culinary degree and that's what you're gonna be doing. But if you wanna run a couture cake shop or a bakery, you better go get a business degree or hire a business manager to be able to help you manage it.
So to wrap this topic up, I would say my last nugget is you've got to surround yourself with good people who are not like you.
Amen.
Who can think outside the box. And if you are friends with people or running your business with friends and they're not adding value and they're pulling you down, that's our timer to stop talking. That is poisonous. It's poisonous.
Well,
and it will ruin your business.
But do you know also what's happening there? You're a one-note business. You have no diversity in your business. You're going to be so tunnel vision that you can't see outside of the scope of what that is. And I mean, that's the best gold nugget, I think.
Surround yourself with the right people. And let me tell you from experience, it's going to take a few rounds of people before you find your people.
Well, people's going to be your constant battle. It's going to be a constant caveat.
Get ready.
It's rough.
It's time for Sorry.
Not Sorry.
Not Sorry.
This is one of my favorite segments. So last episode, I think you talked about your sorry, not sorry. So this time I'm going to talk about mine. One of the biggest issues that I see that we have in this industry, in the cake industry, for example, and I'm always going to reference cake because that's who I am. But I mean, a big issue, especially now with the internet, and it used to be just with magazines and things like that, but is copycatting, okay? And I've done a lot of, I mean, this is full creative proprietary work that you create out of your own mind and your own hands. And it's a thoughtful process sometimes. And you know me, I create a collection every year, I have for the past 10 years, of my own, like lots of research and I pulled my heart into my designs and tried to stand out in the marketplace.
And you did.
And I did. And it served me very well over and over again. But the problem we have is people like to, and I'm flattered that anyone wants to
be inspired.
Be inspired me. I want to inspire people. That's the whole point of me doing this, what I'm doing even now. But two things that come to mind when I have something to talk about sorry, not sorry.
What's the first?
The first thing is, I had one time here in Nashville locally, there's two, there's one locally and nationally. One time we got a publication for vendors, and I open it up, and all of a sudden I see one of my most popular cake, the Wedgwood, is recreated
By someone else?
by a cake person here in our town directly, and used it as her advertising in this vendor. I swear.
Aw.
And
Did it say inspired by Jay Qualls?
It absolutely, to hell, it did not.
Okay.
So this is what I did. So I, very snarkily, as I can be a little bitchy sometimes, I took that picture and I took the picture of my original work and I put them side by side with the date that it was created on when it was published originally. And I said, oh, I am so glad that I could inspire you enough that you would copy my work and put it in your fucking advertising.
Oh, I told him to say the first part.
Yeah, she did. And I was like, I'm done with you.
You should be inspired. Why are you sorry?
Well, I'm not sorry.
Oh, you're not
no,
sorry.
I am not sorry in this instance. The second thing, really quickly, I want to tell you. So my cake that got chosen for the cover of Southern Living Weddings, whoop, whoop, right? Okay,
Whoop,
I
whoop.
knew I was going to be in weddings. I didn't know I was going to get the cover.
The cover.
The very first email I get, it wasn't a congratulation. It was some bitch somewhere in the country that literally tore into me in an email that said, you ripped off my cake and it's on the cover of Southern Living Weddings. First of all, bitch, it was done like 4 years ago. I retooled it and we put it on the cover. I didn't even know it was going to be on the cover, so sorry, not sorry.
One company that I work with that I want to mention to everyone that has made my life so much more easy. And I will preface this by saying that not every software company out there in the wedding market at WedTech knows what the hell they're doing. So I'll ask simple questions like, well, how do you back things up and does it live on the cloud? And shockingly, some people say no. But this company, they've been around for years. It's called Timeline Genius. And the guy that created it, him and his wife saw a need when they were planning their wedding. And you literally feel like a genius. Everything is like auto-populated for you. You've got templates. So if you do weddings, events, anniversaries, bar and bat mitzvahs, and if you follow my link that will be in the show notes, timelinegenius.com/Angela Profit, you can get a free trial. So check it out and shave a shit ton of hours off of doing your timelines.
My affiliate that I absolutely adore and love, I really have two that I want to just mention really quick. One is Marvelous Molds. And so I just got, let me get these. I have show and tell. So you know I love to knit, right? I'm a knitter. I'm an
So
avid.
weird.
I know I'm an avid knitter. It's not as weird as you think. There's a lot of people that do it. But anyway, these are these wonderful. This is a wonderful company called Marvelous Molds, and this guy is a genius because for many years we were able to use molds, but in a way that was very difficult. You had to trim edges and all this stuff. He has created these molds that has a blade around it where you just roll the paste into the blade and it automatically cuts it as it goes and gives you perfectly beautiful, amazing.
Is this for knitting or cake?
No, okay, so it's for cake, but this is just a theme of one of the things that he just recently came out with. He took and created knitted patterns because there was a cake that went viral where this girl did 2 strips of fondant and it made it look like a knitted stitch. All right.
Knitting's very in right now, apparently.
Dominique is amazing. He went and took his molds, and created I think he worked with somebody close, but he's done buttons, he's done braids or cables.
What's his website?
It's marvelousmolds.com.
Check it out.
Check it out because it's truly amazing, and they keep once you make the investment, they're yours, and you can be as creative as you want. I will say, caution with molds. Ann Heap, I think, is the one that was, she's a cake decorator in New York. She's amazing. And check her out too, Ann Heap. So we've come to one of my very favorite parts of the show where you and I are going to give our either I do or I don't on very random topics that our producer we don't know. This is all a surprise. So here we go. The first one is, and we'll start with you, staged exits.
Hell no, it ruins the party.
I have to agree. I don't. Cake in the face. I think it's trashy. I hate it.
And you should discuss it prior to.
Yeah, because it's going to piss some people off.
If you're on the same page and you're being funny, which I have had couples do, it's cool, but like I still don't think it's cool.
I mean, this
gets in your eyes and down in your chest and
ruins your dress a lot of times. Sparklers for the exit, even when venue prohibits it. I like sparklers. I had sparklers at my wedding. We did it.
We did. And so
were we
real
allowed?
Quick, yes.
Okay.
So there's a lot of venues that I work at, and you are not supposed to have any fire whatsoever. So we go around that a little bit. We pay a fire marshal to come in just in case anything happens. And so it costs a little bit more money. By the time you end up paying, you might as well just have fireworks.
Yeah, to get somebody to come out there. Oh my God. So this is balloons at weddings.
It depends. Like, do we have like
Really?
Listen, they're coming back.
I'm done.
Not what you're thinking, okay? I'm actually planning an event right now. It's really cute, but they're these it's like $15 a balloon.
It should be.
And they like have sparkles on them. Like balloons are coming
So
back.
let's
They're
officially vote.
reinventing.
Let's officially vote.
It depends.
Let's officially vote. I do, I don't.
Well, if it's a cute balloon.
Never.
I feel like they're for a birthday party.
Exactly. It's not a 5-year-old's party. It's like having cupcakes at your wedding. Hail to the no.
Now we're going to talk about travel. What do you have a favorite venue that's outside of the U.S. or internationally or outside of Nashville?
Well, I do, like inside the U.S. I can
Okay.
speak to that. So one of my favorite places, I think, is the Grove Park Inn in Asheville, North Carolina.
Ooh, Asheville's pretty.
It is so beautiful, and they know how to. It's an Omni property.
Okay.
So they know clearly how to, treat guests and
Good customer
and it's
service.
beautiful, and they have amazing weddings there. So.
I would say, and someone asked me this internationally, like, what's your favorite venue? And it's really hard to nail it down, but I would say one that really stands out where I had a really cool experience was in London and Oxford at
nice.
the Blenheim Palace.
Nice.
And there's lots of palaces there, but this one, there was some movie with like all these cars, like, and George Clooney or something like that. But it was really neat, and like the palace is amazing.
We
Like,
should have done my wedding there.
beautiful. Do you think people would have traveled there?
No, but I don't care.
I will
I honestly
say-
didn't think people would travel inside Nashville. When I walked out, there was like 300 damn people in there. I was like,
Whatever.
damn.
In London, though, the thing that I really didn't like, and some people think it's cute and sweet and homey, and it was sweet like the bed and breakfasts, but it's like the ceilings were really low, and it was really hard to find an elevator in some of the places that we went to.
Really?
But
So-
I love the
So,
Blenheim Palace.
like, we have ADA here, so I guess that's not a thing there?
I don't know.
They don't take care of
I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
Hey, if you have a favorite venue outside of the U.S., comment
absolutely.
below.
Comment below because we want to hear about it. And these are really interesting and fun. We might even pick one and share it with you.
And we could bring the Jay and Ann show to you.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun. I'm ready for a trip. So every episode we're going to do something we call it random. We literally have just coined it as random, and we're going to just share something random that's happening in our lives right now, just to give you some insight to it.
Oh wait,
who we
hold
are
on.
personally.
I remember Mission Impossible 3
Oh!
was the movie
With all the cars.
with all the cars at Blenheim Palace, and then something else. Like I just want to clarify. So when I was talking about the little ceilings and bed and breakfast, that was where we stayed in Woodstock. That wasn't at the Blenheim Palace because like those ceilings are humongous. Anyway, okay, on to something random.
Okay. So something random is just to give you some insight to our personal lives and to kind of what we're doing right now, just because we really want to share everything with you guys. So we come up with a segment that's called Something Random. And so Angie's going to share something random, which I'm going to go ahead and preface it because we're sitting here. We love our technology. We had a different topic that Angie wanted to talk about something random, but literally.
I want to talk about hip hop music.
Well, let's talk about.
What is this? Like this person?
Oh, did you read? Oh, so.
No, I haven't read this.
Look, because of what happened with.
Oh yeah. So when I was in Vegas recently at Wedding MBA teaching in a booth, I had a very nice cab driver that just picked me up at the airport, just totally random, and we had a great conversation. You know, I just become friends with people in cabs, and he's like texting me like a book.
While we're on set here.
But this was from 1:08 today, okay? It's like way later, but like I've been in meetings all day. I'm busy. Like
1:08.
And I don't even have the phone number on my phone, so I don't even know who this is at this point. And then I read something about how he doesn't dealing with me, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm busy. I'm in a meeting. And anyway, why is a taxi cab driver texting me? Like, this is so random.
It is completely random, but it's so apropos for what we're doing right this second. And I like it. And let me tell you what it is. I haven't even read the whole thing because I was being a little nosy, but it's an opportunist.
For what?
You'll see when you read the rest of it.
Oh, okay.
I've read more of it than she has, but that's totally random. My something random is that I'm kind of like, I know this is going to sound weird to you, but I'm kind of like into sports because, you know, we have the NHL here, and we went to the Stanley Cup last year, and we went to a game the other night, a Preds game, and I actually had a good time. It was really interesting, and I've always followed the Titans and stuff, so that's kind of my something random that nobody probably would expect about me.
That's weird.
But we're watching it, and we
You
like
in
it.
sports?
Yeah, me and sports probably go like me and millennials. Yeah, no, I don't like millennials. So, and that, speaking of which, is what our next episode's going to be about, is free interns and employees not getting paid enough.
Or they think.
Yeah, they think. Well, I mean, they do. And then millennials, which make up the employees not getting paid enough, which is, I have a lot to say about it, and I have a very bitchy point of view about it just from my experience.
But they're people.
Yeah, barely. But we'll get into that next week.
Okay, well, if you learned something on this episode,
We gave you some pretty good gold nuggets.
comment below, make sure that you subscribe and follow us so that you don't miss any more juicy episodes.
On Facebook, on
We have
Twitter,
lots
on Instagram, there's so much. You guys, thank you so much for following us. Thank you for engaging with us
and asking us questions.
because we want you to be a part of this experience as much as you want to be a part of it
like
as
you're
well.
sitting in this living room with us,
Yeah.
just having a conversation.
We hope that you get some value out of it.
Because it's real.
It is certainly real. It is certainly real.
Stay real.
I love you, Ange.
Love you.
See you next time. Bye, everybody.